studies class that Grant Beerley was in. And we just finished this doors project, which we took an aspect about the border and we did a door to embody it. This one is my door. I did it on femicides and talk a little bit about the statistics of femicides and of how it relates. So, a femicide is defined as a crime involving the violent and deliberate killing of a woman. Many states and countries don't really recognize this in their criminal codes as a specific crime, so statistics are pretty hard to come by. Since 1993, though, the estimated number of femicides in Juarez that are reported is in thousands. The exact number of femicides is unknown, though, because most of them go unreported and are just missing. Rape, mutilation, involving the amputation of limbs, noses, ears. That's what this symbolizes on my door, the dotted lines. And also torture are common traits of femicides. And these are just killings. The United Nations defines violence against women as any act of gender-based violence that results in or is likely to result in physical, sexual, or psychological harm or suffering to women. There's a lot more of those. In the first 9 months of 1998 alone, the women of Juarez reported at least 800 cases of rape and over 9,000 cases of violence against women, which included rape, kidnapping, and domestic violence. Most femicides involve women statistically who work in maquiladoras, or sweatshops, or who are students. This is because a lot of women move into Juarez from rural Mexico to find jobs to either support themselves, support their families, or find financial independence. When I was researching this, I was just asking myself, why would this happen? This is just such a brutal, terrible, horrible crimes, and there's many reasons and many theories floating around. One is that working women are seen as cheap labor because they belong to a lower economic class and therefore more disposable. Two, societies under stress tend to have an important role in violence in general and violence against women. Societies that are under stress could be societies in the process of transformation. This could be modernization, civil unrest, or being in a state of war or terrorism. Right now, Mexico is in a state of globalization and at the same time is in a state of war on drugs and drug violence and also gangs. So that could be another reason, but what it comes down to is women killed for being women. This is research to come to result from long-standing sexism ingrained in society. Octavio Paz says that women are treated as symbols or functions. That's what the quote on my door says. She would prefer to be treated as a human rather than as a symbol or a function. And also women are expected to wear many masks in society. They're expected to wear the mask of emotional weakness, but at the same time, wear the mask of the long-suffering virgin, suffering in silence. And that is just as detrimental. Men are expected to wear the mask of emotional indestructibility and masculinity, and this could be because of a lot of things. And sexual violence is a form of dominance and results from the sexual construction of masculinity as a form of supremacy over others. So, to these men, women are sought to be controlled. They're not people, they're functions, they're means. And these men will internalize this threat and message of sexual terrorism as just a fact of society. And sure, society has a role in the epidemic of femicides, but so does the Mexican government of Juarez. Because I was wondering, why are none of these crimes investigated? Of the ones that are reported, maybe 2% are investigated, and part of that could be corruption. A lot of gangs pay off the police force to allow them to operate prostitution rings, to allow them to kidnap people with no effects, to allow them to get away with murder. But at the same time, money goes only so far, and there's sexism maybe in the police office of Juarez as well. My door, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the themes. I chose the pink, white, and black theme because it is the color scheme chosen by the women of the Ni Una Más and Ni Una Menos movements. And those are movements in Juarez, but also in other Hispanic countries that are affected by femicides, which essentially mean not one more woman to die and not one less woman to live. And these are women who are mothers, are daughters, are librarians, or teachers, or doctors that sacrifice their own safety to protest and march against this injustice. And it's pretty amazing because there is no guarantee that they will be safe when they march for this. I chose also on your left, removable binder and hair, because a lot of women cut their hair and bind their chests when they cross the border to look like men, because it's not safe to be a woman and to cross the border, and it's not safe to be a woman in Mexico. So those symbolize the mask of fear that society puts on women. At the same time, the Virgen de Guadalupe cloak symbolizes the expectation of women to be the long-suffering virgin and to be silent about what they endure, but at the same time be a picture of emotional providence. The luchadora mask that I chose is over the chest, and that's because this is a mask of fighting, and this is a mask of honor, and women every day have to fight to protect themselves, to protect what they love, to protect their emotions, and so I thought the heart sort of encompassed all of that, so it's over the heart, and that is not removable. And doing this project, I did realize something. I am a woman, but I recognize I come from a place of immense privilege. I can't even imagine what these women have gone through. But I also recognize that this opportunity with TEDx, and I can encourage people to get involved, to research this for themselves, because it's a growing problem, and also to research the Ni Una Más, Ni Una Menos movement, and listen to the voices of these women, because they have a lot more to say than I do. Thank you.